And I'm telling you, it's not too early to set up a Christmas tree. Well, hello, I'm Michael with the Rise Sanctuary, and it's time for I guess this is an AMA. I really didn't come up with a plan for the live stream today. Yeah, I knew I was going to, but yeah, that's the way life goes. Sometimes you have great plans, and sometimes you just kind of fall through. But I've got my amaretto coffee here, and everything's set up. Let's see, the last live stream I did, I had a mess of an office, and now I can see that I've got some stuff hanging up. Hey, Ron Kincaid, how's it going? Haven't seen you for a while, buddy. But it was kind of cool that I got my stuff up. I don't know if you noticed, but this side is kind of like my professional look, and then this side's my fun look. So it's kind of both sides of my personality. I need to get more professional stuff up there. Most of my books and stuff, but yeah, it is what it is. And I got a new light, so I'm not using my $2 Walmart special incandescents that are hanging on the wall, and I need to take those down. But I bought a $10 selfie light from Target, and wow, it's five shades of bright. Went through some rough spots on the road. Sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, if there's one thing I know a lot about, it's rough spots. I've had the worst 10 months of my life, but things are picking up, so just got to keep marching through. And so far, everything's planning out pretty well. I've got my office set up. I love my house. I've got a menagerie of animals that come visit me every morning because I feed them. So I've got like 5 squirrels and 7 different species of bird. We just watched a beautiful blue jay come down and pick apart the corn that the squirrels don't eat. And then we've got banded doves that come down and eat some of that too, and tons of freaking chickadees. And let's see, it's the house, what is it? I want to say starling, but that's not right. House sparrow? I think they're pretty red-headed birds. And then get some robins. I had a robin smash into the window. So anyway, lots of coolness. I love my house. It's kind of an older one, built in the 70s, but sitting here makes me feel like sitting at my grandma's house back in Utah when I was 12. So it has that nice warm homey feel to it, and I like it. I like it a lot. Need to work on the soundproofing though, because let's see, Friday's video, you can hear the girls playing Grand Theft Auto in the background. And now I can hear the dog barking through the heating vent. So, still have a little bit of work to do, but aside from that, it's great. I love it. I've got quite a bit of space here in the office. I'm not trapped, even though I guess on camera it looks kind of condensed, but in reality I got like 3 or 4 feet behind me, so I can roll all the way back. And I'm hoping to do something with the TV, like lift it up and put the Rise Sanctuary splash screen on it. I think that'd be kind of cool. How is the affiliate marketing website coming along? Oh, it was everything was working great until about halfway through February. As soon as the landlord decided he wanted to sell the house out from under us, it's just been one hell of a rough ride. Between going to houses, trying to buy a house, rentals, taking a look at rentals. Then we had to fight with a lending company. I stayed in the hotel for a month, and it's been a menagerie of badness. So I'm hoping I can get back to it, because there's all kinds of plans that I have for the Practically Living Green, including doing landing pages for affiliates and stuff like that. And surprisingly, the rest of my blogs have actually been making, I wouldn't say a lot of money, but more money than they have in a long time. So, and that's just pure with AdSense. So I'm kind of excited about that. But I definitely want to get back to work on the green blog. I'm hoping at some point this week. I keep saying hoping for the past 2 weeks because it's just everybody keeps throwing more onto my plate. I'm like, I've got stuff I want to do, but I haven't been able to work on 7. I have dedicated my mornings to blogging once for every 30 days on michaelbrockbank.com, which is my personal blog. And so far, I've maintained it. It's almost been a week. So I'm running an experiment to see if blogging once a day really actually matters at all. And I started with that blog because it's the one that gets the least amount of traffic. So, and then I want to try it with some of the bigger ones, like with Writer Sanctuary and Colorado Plays that get more traffic. I'm not really sure how much of a difference it's going to make after a month, because it's been my experience that anything you blog, anything you write today will eventually make it through Google's search results anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And so I don't think I'll see an immediate difference for my new blog, but who knows? Maybe something will go viral. Doubt it, but it'd be kind of cool. But I'm definitely planning on getting back into it. There's a lot of it as I'm getting asked a lot about WordPress stuff lately, and since the green blog is all based on WordPress, and it's more like almost like a how to build a website with WordPress. So I really want to get back into doing that. And now that I have the house is finally put together, I spent the last weekend putting together my office. I've got the house unpacked. I got my lawnmower bought. It's an electric lawnmower. What else? I should be nearing an ability to where I can actually do something that's fun. I've been non-stop for about a month and a half now. More than? Oh, I can't really say that. There were times in the hotel. Oh, uploading from the hotel. That was a nightmare. It took me 6 hours to do one video once. And I'm like, this is not going to happen. I was spoiled. I was living off fiber optic. Now I'm not. And right now I'm getting the 1 gigabyte down, then 35 megs up from Comcast. That's not Comcast. Yeah, Comcast. It's the Xfinity stuff. And it's faster uploading than at the hotel, but after living on fiber optic for like 2 years, I'm like, yeah, I miss it. So I'll have to wait until somebody brings it to my area. Aside from that, I've got a lot of good things coming. I was going to make a video today for Writer Sanctuary. I had some really good plans, but like I said, my client keeps me busy, and since they pay the bills, I have to deal with them first. So I've got that kind of caught up, and tomorrow I'm working on the gaming stuff, so I'll be blogging on that and then doing Twitch, and then Wednesday I have a plan for video for Writer Sanctuary. So, but I've got so many plans. I'm getting so many that I'm thinking about turning Fridays into a Writer Sanctuary upload, only because the health and fitness one is more like a pet project, and I can move that to Sunday. Balthazar, hello. Just started listening to your info. Very cool stuff. Are you still writing articles for TextBroker? I haven't wrote articles for TextBroker in quite some time. I want to get back into it though. There's quite a few that I would like to dive into just so that I can keep fresh on what I'm, teaching, really. But with all the stuff that's been going on for the past few months, I really haven't had a chance. I get on TextBroker about once a week, twice a week to check my email to make sure there's nobody sending direct orders and stuff like that. But for the most part, I've been really working on trying to get my house situated and the YouTube channel and my own blogs going. So lots of wheels are turning, but I'm hoping to get back into at least 1 or 2 TextBroker articles a month just so I can keep up. But there were times when I was debating on putting the hammer down in TextBroker and see if I can hit some of their milestones, because some of their goals that they have set in there, I'm like, I used to do that on a regular basis, like their high-end goals. I'm like, I wonder if I could still do that. Might be able to. And win myself a trip to Las Vegas, even though right now it doesn't really matter. Go to Las Vegas just to wear a mask. The world's in a crazy state right now. But yeah, I really do plan on doing TextBroker. And there's a couple other content mills too that I was going to look at and do a first look on and do a couple of articles to see what they're like. I still want to do Writer Access because I used to have an account with them. I liked the system. I was making just as much money with Writer Access as I was with TextBroker, but I was getting far more work in TextBroker, so that's the only reason why I stopped using Writer Access. And now they've changed a lot of their format and their system setup, so I'm really looking forward to looking at that. I want to do a video on constant content. I did kind of a first look on Contently, and I was debating on giving that more of a deep dive. Let's see what else. God, there's like a bunch. My Asana list is getting longer and longer. I've been doing a lot of blogging, a lot of editing, way more editing than I would like, but that's my job. I don't know, just sometimes people need to like listen to me and do what I say. Are you US based or overseas? I am US based. I am here in Denver, Colorado, and it was hot today, and I was a few miles away from the protests and all that, so I never got to really see any of it, but I live at home, work at home, play at home, so I'm kind of a homebody. But yeah, I'm in Colorado. I love it here. So I was about to move overseas before this insane stuff happened. Ah, nice. Where about overseas were you going to move? I don't know where I would like to live if it was overseas. I'm kind of boring. I don't know if it'd be technically overseas, but I'd like to, well, I guess I'd like to visit Peru. But as for living, I don't know. Somewhere tropical. Because my job goes with me wherever I go, so technically I can live anywhere in the world. As long as I keep getting paid and can pay my bills. And I'm sure I could probably do that. That's one of the beautiful things about being a freelance writer. Especially if you know you can live off your private clients, or if you can crank out a lot of work in textbook, or you can literally live anywhere you want. And some places, their cost of living is so low that you can live like a king off like $10 an hour. Shyman, how's it going? But it's yeah, I don't know. That'd be a hard one. Germany, nice. It's awesome. It's not tropical though. Yeah, no. Germany is far from being tropical, but I'm half German. I'd like to see where I'm from. I've got family from Germany. I got family in England. Mostly, yeah. Mostly English, mostly German. So, Germany, I don't know. I think it's one of those places that I would love to visit. Diana Brain, hey, just got here. Awesome. I'm still here. It's all good. You're only 15 minutes late. No, it's all. It's not like we're talking about anything in depth. We're just discussing on where we would live overseas, and I'm kind of on the fence on where I'd like to go. But I don't know. Where do you think the cost of wow, I need glasses badly. Where do you think the cost of living is low? Definitely the Philippines. The Philippines is their value is way below the American dollar, so you can get like 5-star resort status on making like pennies. But you'd also have to live in the Philippines, so there's a trade-off. If you like plumbing, you'd want to find somewhere else. Of course, that's all off of hearsay from somebody I used to know. I've never been to the Philippines. I've never been out of the continental U.S. I've never been east of Omaha. Well, parts of Arkansas, I guess. I'm not sure. We tried to figure out how far east I've ever been, but I think Omaha might be the furthest. And then I've been all the way to the East Coast. I miss Santa Monica. That cost of living is not low, but Santa Monica is beautiful. Aside from the current situation, one of my favorite things was to go out on the pier and take a look across the Pacific Ocean with a coffee in my hand. That is where I got this. So, not the coffee, but the cup. Unfortunately, plumbing is very important to me. Yeah, it's important to a lot of us. I guess the resorts actually have plumbing, but a lot of the inner city parts don't. So, and they're, I I don't know. In Ukraine, you can live for $500 a month well enough. Nice. Yeah, there's lots of places around the world where you can make quite a bit. Or live a good place. Arkansas is the farther? Ah, okay. So I thought that was right. I've had a lot of good things about Thailand and Vietnam in terms of stretching the dollar for a pretty good standard of living. Yeah, I think I've heard that too. I was just going to mention Ukraine. Nice. Does Textbooker have work? Every time I log in, there's no work for 3-star peeps. See, the last time I logged in, it was mostly for 4. I'll check real quick. It keeps bouncing back and forth. Every time I get on, I kind of browse just to see what's there. And last time, there was like 400 articles for 4-star, which is kind of low. Ooh, look at that, web surveys team. Web surveys team is always has work in it. Coupon companies, I'm on that one. Shopping savers, God, I haven't done those since it's been a while. I joined that team a long time ago. Let's see, we got... Okay, right, oh wow. Right now there's 629 for 4-star, like I said. 31 for 3s. God, that is so low. I think it was one of the biggest things, that's one of the things that drove me to work as hard as I did to get from 3 to 4, is because there was so much more work available for 4-stars. It took me a long time to get it. Try to get up to 4-star status ASAP. Yeah, no web surveys is defunct. It doesn't work anymore. I've got 77 on here. I'm looking at them right now. Let's see, could grow our survey, link to survey. Ah. I haven't done any of the web surveys team stuff. So I have no idea. I have to look at the... Fuck it. Let's click a link. In order to gather responses for those if possible, or responses against fit. Ah, look at that. We expect more tasks to be available for you in 24 hours. Thank you for your work. Well, maybe you're right. It shows orders, but the links don't work. Ah, okay. Yep, I just found that out. I wonder if anybody knows. I'll send them a message. Yo, it's been like this for months. Wow, really? Now that's a bummer. I know the coupon companies and shopping savers work. They're usually kind of lower ones, so it's like quick 100-word write-ups. But it's a quick way to make $2. It only takes like 5 minutes to do them. Do enough of them, you can actually, it adds up after a while. Oh, hey, look, I've been invited to an exclusive team again. God, that makes, how many am I in now? I don't know. Open team, holy shit. I haven't looked at my list for a while. Open team invitations, I got 68. I show 6 orders for 3-star writers. That probably just changed. Yes, there are aware. Hopefully they get that fixed, because I kind of wanted to play around with it. See what it's like. 4-star tourists, recovery writers. I thought I was on that team. Artsy authors, dream machines, care heroes. Well, I got a lot of junk to go through. Must be frustrating. Yeah, I feel you, Ron. When I first started, there were days where I wouldn't get a chance to write anything at all, and so yeah, see, it's back down to 31, 25 in miscellaneous. But I feel you. There were days where I wouldn't get anything at all, and so like my weekly payout would be like $25. But it got to a point where I just was jumping on whatever came my way, and that's why I expanded. I used to write just in computer and software, and then that was down here, maybe technology. But then I expanded and started writing all the different kinds of things. And like right now, there's 25 miscellaneous. We got the Divided Sky Roofing blog. I used to do a lot of roofing blogs. I've just signed up to write not that long ago and am feeling a bit uneasy about actually putting my work out there. I was given a 3-star initial rating. It's not bad. I started off as a 3-star, and my friend is the one who actually turned me on to it. And he was like, when he wrote his article, his initial article, he was all how it was the best in the world and that he was really, really proud of it. And when they rated him a 3, he got super pissed and then quit and never wrote again. I decided to go the different route. I needed something to pad my income because $8 an hour isn't cutting it from the school district. So I would write periodically and try to get as much as I could. And it took me, I think, more than a year to get 4-star. It was a grind, but once I hit 4 stars, I started writing text broker. Now, I quit my job at the school district, and then I wrote for nothing but text broker for the last 4 years from 2000. See, exclusively was text broker was probably 2015 through 2017-ish area, but I'd bounce back and forth between text broker, writer access, and Fiverr, and it's hard. It takes a bit of a grind, but once you get to that point, stuff starts working for you, especially if you can get some really good direct orders. You should put all your effort into those first 5 orders because after that, they can promote you to a 4-star. Yes, exactly. But don't get overconfident because once you get that 4 stars, it's really just as easy for them to knock you down. My first time I had 4 stars, I had it for 3 days. They will rate your first 5 articles and give you feedback. Yep. And you take that feedback, and then I took all the feedback from every article I ever wrote on TextBroker and researched it in Google. And that's when I built Writer Sanctuary specifically to practice everything they told me. So I would get it ingrained in my memory, and I would learn everything I possibly could on Google and then put it into the blog. That way I would get real practice with it. And it made a huge difference. After a while, I started coming up with all kinds of stuff. Hold on, I got someone sending me Snapchats. Oh, kids. So, I don't know if you can see this, but that is my mama cat, who is 900 years old. And she's a barn rescue, and she's missing an ear from frostbite and the tip of another ear from frostbite. And then a picture of a blanket. I love my kids. Yeah, I just saw it. All right. So let me send them a snap of my water bottle. Winter. Okay, but no orders have come through that I feel I can do well. See, there was times where I picked up an order thinking this is going to suck, or I felt self-doubt. I still feel doubtful of my abilities quite a bit. And I pick up those orders and I'm thinking this isn't going to go anywhere, but let's try it. What are they going to do? Take away my birthday? So just put in the best you can, and sometimes you can come across sometimes you come across stuff that you actually like. That's how I discovered that I love writing about business and marketing. As I started messing around with some of those, and I was thinking this is going to suck, and it turned out to be one of my strongest suits. And I found that I had quite a bit of passion for it. If you look in the author help forum, other people have advice. Oh yeah, the forums are definitely full of advice and stuff. I used to go through the forums all the time, and I was one of the people that would write helpful stuff in the forums. That was way before I built this channel. But yeah, there's a lot of really good authors out there that'll work with you and help you, and a lot of great people on TextBroker. Of course, there's also a few that are questionable, but there's always going to be questionable people in every system. Yeah, I used to chat with a lot of people. Yeah, I guess the issue I have is just the research for writing the article. Never did a lot of research in school. Oh, see, that's where I differed. When I went to college, I researched everything. I loved my art history class. And So I've always been a researcher, and I've been really fast at it. And once you get to a certain point, though, and you can teach yourself. And once you start figuring out quick things of the best ways to research certain topics, then it comes really easy. It just takes practice. And over the years, I've developed quite a skill for ripping through Google and finding quality pieces, because you can't, when you do research, you gotta be kind of careful, because the internet's full of false information or fake news. So you have to be kind of careful about what you grab. I always try to validate with 3 separate sources of the same information to make sure that it's factual. Or I search scientific study papers specifically, and you can access those through Google as well. You have to dig through a bit sometimes because the search for it is a little bit different, but it's out there. But once you get to a certain point, you start practicing, get it down packed, and you start ripping through the articles like they were nothing. The last time I actually sat down and did nothing but texture broker for the whole day, I made, God, what was it, like $100 and something inside of 5 hours. I was just tearing through stuff. I was also getting tips from my one of my clients. I've got bonuses, but you get some of those really good, awesome clients where they just want basic information, and you can just tear through it. It's fast, like the blog team that I'm on. I haven't seen the blog team pop any orders for a while. But then again, the blog team, when they drop their orders, you gotta be fast, because there's a lot of authors that'll pick them up, because you do get paid less per word, but they're so easy to do that you can just zip through them. How did they drop you from a 4 to a 3? What were the reasons? I've always had a problem with commas. That was the biggest issue. My grammar was good. They did give me a lot of grief for being too clinical, but being clinical isn't necessarily a grammatical thing. They just need more personality. So I worked on that. But when I got dropped from a 4 to 3, it was mostly because there was a couple of articles where I just butchered the comma usage. So it took a while to, after that, it took me about 6 months to get my 4 back, and I've had it ever since. But yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Just found out that Lion King wasn't a ripoff to Kimba the White Lion. The internet. Right? So you gotta be careful with what you research. You gotta make sure that you're finding real information. I don't know how I feel about Wikipedia, because sometimes you can come across some good stuff, especially if they cite the work and they leave links to books and studies and stuff like that. But then you come across some information that's in Wikipedia that's like highly questionable. There's been times where I'd go through it where there were facts that I knew for a fact were wrong. So I'm not really too keen on the Wikipedia thing. I do have a few trusted sources that I would prefer. Like, I trust most of the time from Forbes, Time Magazine, Backlinko, Search Engine Journal. It depends on the niche, I guess, too, because there's going to be quality sites in every industry. And Backlinko, Search Engine Land, and there's one more. There's Neil Patel, but I don't like reading Neil Patel's stuff because he puts every paragraph as its own sentence, and it drives me nuts. It creates like this big, long strand of page I have to scroll and scroll just to find certain facts, and I hate that. But he is pretty good at what he does. So I just hate reading his stuff or watching his videos. Him and Brian Dean. I love Brian Dean. He's great. But it's the whole pausing at the end of every sentence and then a certain tone that he takes at the end of those sentences that drives me absolutely nuts. So it's really hard for me to watch his videos, but sometimes I can go get through him. He's a great guy. I've chatted with him a couple of times, but I just can't stand watching his videos. And that's okay. I still, like his last video gave me some awesome ideas, like for coming up with blog post ideas to go through sites like Udemy and then finding top rated classes and do article or blog posts on that type of content. I'm like, that's brilliant, actually, because you already know they're highly searched to get to at the top of the ratings in Udemy. So anyway, but you're going to find sources in all over the industry. Different industries have different sources, so it's really hard to find the good ones, but once you do, it gets pretty easy after that. It's gotta, like, one of my biggest things is I think I was telling Diana this, is the second monitor. Oh, bonus. Like, well, I can look at TextBroker while I'm still talking to you on this one and monitoring my chat. Second monitor rocks. Yeah, I think people do that to make their content seem larger than it actually is. Absolutely. It's called fluff and filler, and there's nothing that drives me nuts more. Like, I'm very strict with my writers, and if there's even a hint of fluff, I will ping them for it. So, hey Joel, how's it going? That's encouraging. Research is where everything slows right down. Some of them need expert information, which, it's true, has taken all day to research and complete an order. Practice, I guess. Exactly. Once you do a certain thing over and over and over again, it becomes ingrained, and then you can just start. Like right now, if I was to research any blog post, it's almost like second nature now, because I just hit a new tab, throw it on the second screen, do my search, leave the main screen open for writing, just go through it. Try getting a third monitor, triple your production rate. Oh, you should. If you haven't seen my picture from the hotel, I had my 24-inch, then I was borrowing my friend's 32-inch widescreen curved, and then I had the 44-inch television hooked up to my computer at the hotel, so it was like you can see a moving down. It's pretty cool. Hey Alana, I'm all about pithy writing. Boo, the fluff. Yeah. Everybody has their cup of tea, I guess. And yeah, boo the fluff. It drives me nuts. I'm like, don't. Oh, there's another big thing. You want to be careful of that. A lot of people I see do, especially my writers, is when you repeat the same information but worded differently, so it looks different, but it's the exact same thing. Don't do that. It's repetitive phrasing. TextBroker editors will ping you for it. That was one of my biggest issues back in 2012. So yeah, it's good to hear. Yeah, awesome. It is. But yeah, it's don't repeat yourself, and don't. There was one more. It was along that same lines. Filler and fluff. Don't repeat. Repetitive phrasing. Redundancy. That's another one. Don't be redundant. I wish I could follow that advice during a live stream, because I repeat myself way too often. Yeah, that's good to hear. So I guess you'd need maybe 3 or 4 articles before you get the research content down. It depends. There's some articles where I really didn't need the research because I already knew the topic, but I would research a little bit anyway, just to make sure that I was still relevant. But yeah, once you get down to a certain pattern for yourself, and you know what you're doing, and you're like, I know what the extent of my writing is going to be, then yeah, practice makes perfect. You start busting that out, and you can rip through them pretty fast. Yes, they can also call it filler. Yep, fluff and filler. And that's one thing that TextBroker is way against. So, well, you gotta think about it. If they're paying you per word and you're just adding words, and it just charges them up, and I understand why they attack you for it. And in fact, like I said, I attack my writers for doing it too. So, but yeah, it's that's what it's all about. Like, I can show you the things that I used to do and the things I do now, but in reality, it all comes down to you. What works best for you, and finding your own pattern. Like, for me, having the second monitor, being able to, like, I'll grab a tab, throw it over, and start immediately with a Google search, and then I skim through a lot of stuff that comes up. I'll right click, open a new window. So I'll have, like, by the end that I'm researching a piece, I'll have like 30 tabs open on just this screen, which is takes up a lot of memory. So Yeah, the right click, open a new tab, and then I'll go through, and if you hit Control F on certain pages, you can look for key phrases and words and names. So you hit Control F and then scan through it real fast and drop down to what they're talking about and scan through it all real fast. So once you get down all of that, then yeah, it's you become an expert. You can get through it pretty fast. You need some coffee. This is my amaretto mix today. I was going to do butterscotch toffee, but butterscotch toffee? Butterscotch latte. Butterscotch latte is what it is. But I love amaretto. It's good. Cool. Thanks for explaining your process. Well, kind of went through it pretty fast, but I'll try to slow it down in a future video maybe. But yeah, once you learn like shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts are a good thing. Like I said, the Control F when you're on any web page. You know, if it wasn't such a pain to switch back and forth, I'd show you. But if you hit Control F and scan through an article, say that you're writing about a certain person or a specific place, you just put that in there and drop down to where it's mentioned in that piece and then go through it. How important is the word count? If I were to go word or two over, is likely going to give me a ding. Well, I've heard people get rejected for being over. Back when I was writing all day long on TextBroker, I never got in trouble for it. There were times where I'd do like 50 to 100 words more, and one time I was almost 1,000. They made me rewrite a little bit of that though, and TextBroker yelled at me for it. But I figured, no, it's free words to the client. And so sometimes you just can't condense quality content inside what they want. And so sometimes I'd go over, and I never got dinged for it, except for that one time where I was like way over. But that was explanatory. But I've heard people get rejected for being over, and I guess I can kind of see that from a certain perspective. If they only have so many words that they can fit on a web page, or maybe it's a product description or a blog post, or maybe something like on Twitter where you only have limited characters, I can see how that would be an issue, because then you don't want to be over, because then that hits their cap. But aside from that, I've never heard of it before this. I can't remember who mentioned it. It was one of my viewers recently, a few months ago. They were saying how they got denied for it. I'm like, I never have. So I would aim for somewhere in between. So where their minimum and their maximum, try to aim for the middle somewhere. Just make sure you're not using fluff. Yes, I'm really looking forward to that video. Yeah, I've got all kinds of ideas rolling around in my head. I just need time to get them out. Being over for a few words is usually okay, but probably not 50 to 100. Yeah, well, there's times. I was an overachiever. But I think one of the reasons why I never got dinged for it is because every one of my pieces was highly focused quality content, and so every sentence had its meaning for the topic, and I was really good at what I did. So not to toot my own horn, but maybe that's why they glossed over it. It's because there's certain things you just can't fit inside of a small package. The only stipulation is that you don't get paid for extra words. Exactly. There are times where I would write quite a bit, and I haven't calculated it, but I know that I gave away a lot of free content. That's okay. I think that's part of why they kept sending me direct orders. Direct orders, team invites, and bonuses. I made quite a bit in bonuses. Like, I'd get like $35 at a time. God. I would say those are the days, but I make so much more money right now. That's why I'm trying to help you guys get to where I am. Not my job, but where I am. Alana says, when I did my degrees, I was told if the content is good, then there can be some leniency in assessed essays. So I guess there can be exceptions to going over the word count. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, just don't try to go over or under. Of course, in TextBroker you can't go under because it won't accept it. But You don't want to be too much of an overachiever, though. Like, you can swing for the fences, but don't break your bat. Oh, I am so hot in this office. That's because everything is covering my air conditioning vent. I still have to put away a monitor. I have my drawing portfolio from college. Because I went to college for graphic design and computer animation. Nowhere near where I am today. And I've got the laptop set up. I still need to do something with the TV, which I'm kind of looking forward to doing tomorrow if I've got time. Because I still have to put together a lawnmower and mow down the little forest that I got growing in the backyard. I'll wind up losing a cat. Guys, I wanted to advise you to replace coffee with nootropics. It works for me. Yeah, Shyman has been pushing his nootropics for a while now. I am a fan of coffee. I'll try your nootropics eventually, but it's not coffee. And I like matcha tea. I think you're the one that turned me on to matcha tea. That's pretty good. Earl Grey. I've got peppermint in there. Bengal spice is the other one I like. Yeah. Any one of those you'll find me drinking. Mostly coffee, though. There's too much blood in my caffeine system. Oh. You're just shy of putting down an affiliate link, aren't you? It's all good. Oh, but aside from that... Oh. Let's see here. Should I take the 5-star advancement test live? I wonder if I could get in trouble for that, showing you guys the questions and shit. I better not try it. They doesn't pay me. Much appreciated. I like to think my content is good. I just note that sometimes I have gone over and had to use smaller word structures. Yeah. It's always best to err on the side of caution, because you never know. Like I said, I never got dinged for it, but somebody I know who watches the videos, it might have been... God, there was one... It's been a while. But someone said that they got dinged for it, so... I don't know. I'd just be cautious about it. Did you say there's too much blood in your caffeine system? Yes, I did. Show us this caffeine here. I would do the 5-star advancement test, but it'd be my luck that someone from Textbroker would be watching, because they have been watching my videos. They've been emailing me directly, not to complain, but there was one where they wanted me to correct something that I said about... it was when they were transitioning from PayPal to Payoneer, and I got something wrong, and they contacted me directly and wanted me to fix it, which I did. So they are watching me, so I need to be kind of careful about how far I push the envelope. So I don't think I will show the advancement test, because we don't want cheaters. I don't even know if it's the same questions. God, last time I took it was like years ago. Yeah, I missed it by one wrong answer. That was back in 20... When did I do that? I think it was 2015 or 2016. And the only reason why I haven't taken it yet again is because when I look at the list, I hardly ever see articles for 5-star teams that I would be even interested in writing. So I'm like, I make quite a bit off the 4 stars. I can rip through them real fast. I don't know. Overqualified for my position. God, I've been told that a lot. Oh, really? Those editors are something else? Yeah. Some of them are. I don't know. There was one time I got into a fight with somebody. It was over the word ambiance. And I'm an English writer writing for an English company here in the States, and they wanted me to use the French version of ambiance. And I'm like, no, I'm an American. They're an American. We're using the English version. And it's the same damn word, just the only difference is one spelled with an E and the other one's spelled with an A. And it was like months of going back and forth, and I just kept putting it in. Like, nah, I'm not gonna change. Finally, they gave up. So, yeah, mess with me, will ya? Cool thing is once you get to a certain point and you start getting more work under your belt and you start cranking out those orders, you start getting contact directly from text broker managers, and so you get invited to teams before they even go live on text broker. I got invited to all kinds of teams that way. In fact, as a 4-star, I was invited to a 5-star team because of they knew my ability and they knew that I could rip them out real fast. And God, those days I was making like 200 something bucks. It was great. Unfortunately, that team went away a long time ago, but I think I was on that team for 6 months before they, I think they got in-house writers. But wow, I was making money. Is there honestly any point to 5-star ratings when there aren't any 5-star rating or work? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that there's hardly ever any 5-star work. And I guess maybe from direct orders, probably clients out there who want a 5-star writer to write their stuff. But to be honest, I don't know. I don't see the point outside of bragging rights. And if I ever do wind up doing it, that's going to be the only reason, is just so I can say I'm a 5-star in text broker. Not like it matters much. $200 a day, that's wild. Oh yeah, I think the highest was like 256, and that was just from one of those articles and then a bunch of the 4-star ones. So it was pretty cool times there. Making quite a bit. Kind of miss it. It was at least once a week, once every 2 weeks, something like that. Then I had a direct order client who would send me 5 jobs every morning for a year and a half. That's back when his stuff is when I wrote because I had to take on certain personas on certain blogs. So I had to write as a pregnant black woman. And apparently I did a really good job because I got glowing reviews. But I wrote for them for a year and a half, and they told me that they were getting an in-house writer and that they're really sorry and they loved working with me. And if there's any way that they could have been able to pick me up outside of text broker, they would. And it was a great client. They even gave me a ending bonus. So they were good people. I was wondering the same, bragging rights. Yeah. That's all I can say of it. I don't know. There might be 5-star teams out there, but to be honest, I don't know. It's just, I think bragging rights would be the biggest point. Like right now, I'm looking at 17 orders. I got 2 in business economy, 1 in car, casino, 3 in computer software, electronics, employment, marketing, media and telecommunications. That's it. 6 in finance. Oh, there's 6 in finance for the 4-stars too, and 4 in 3-star. Nuremberg Stearns. $3 article. 300 words. Okay, so here's an example. Please write an article about Michael Nuremberg. Find an article on a site called Eco Times. Success tips and recap it thoroughly. So recaps, there's where you have to be kind of worried about. With a recap, I've seen a lot of people get revisions for, mostly because it's too closely related, which is weird because a lot of people use Copyscape. And when you're recapping an article, obviously Copyscape is going to say that a lot of it is copied because, well, it's a recap. That's what it's for. And so, and you have to kind of play with it quite a bit. And so one good thing to try is use Copyscape's compare tool. It's free to use. You copy the article that they want you to recap. You put that in one side, and then on the other side, because it's in 2 different columns, on the other side you put your content in there, and it'll tell you how closely related you are. So if you can get that below, I would say below 10%, you should be in the clear. Now, with my writers, I make them write, I think it's below 5%. I'm pretty strict, but I get paid to be strict. You should do a video on that, how to write as a pregnant black baby. I was impressed that he gave me that gave me such glowing reviews. It's like there was times when I was writing for some of the clients thinking, oh, this is crap. This is coming back. I want to get a revision all day. But no, there was one that I thought was complete crap. And I'm like, this is getting rejected. And they didn't even send back a revision. They said, thank you very much. This is exactly what we're looking for. Gave me excellent reviews all the way down. And then good job on the whole review part and paid me for it. So I'm like, wow, you guys liked crap. Some people do. Did you ever use Grammarly or any of that stuff? Not when I first started. Now, right now I have Grammarly installed on Chrome, and Grammarly works inside the WordPress editor, which is great. So Grammarly helps me go through my stuff, my client stuff, my writers when I manage their stuff, because that's all I do all day long is edit their stuff. Grammarly works great on Chrome, especially in WordPress. I never did in the very beginning though. In the very beginning, I was using, I think at that time, was it Chrome or Firefox? I might have been just using Chrome and using the Chrome's built-in spell checker tool. So that's all I used at the very beginning. And then I didn't install Grammarly until last year, I think it was, when they came out with their extension. So works awesomely. Sometimes it gets things wrong. Like no system is ever going to be 100% accurate, mostly because of context. So you do have to look at it when it flags something as being wrong and then make sure it fits right. Because if it is wrong, then it is. But there's been times, I'm trying to think of a good example of something that Grammarly said wasn't correct, but it was. I don't think there was any today. I can't think of it offhand, but I know there's been a few. So you want to keep an eye out for it. But see, I should be endorsed by Grammarly. I tried signing up to be an affiliate, but back when I first started Writer Sanctuary and there was like 5 articles on it, they denied me, and it's still in denial. So, like, whatever. I could be sending you all kinds of business. Would you recommend it, or is it just kind of useful? I would recommend it. I find it awesome, and especially since my biggest the biggest reason why I use it right now still is because it does work so well in TextBroker. So, or not TextBroker. It works so well in WordPress. Now, with TextBroker having its editing field on their screen, it should work in that as well. So it looks like anywhere that you actually type. So sometimes like in the live chat on a video I'll be writing, the Grammarly extension will pop up and want me to fix stuff. Now it doesn't work all that well on YouTube, but it does work well everywhere else. So I think it's just the way that live chats are done on YouTube that it has some kind of issue with. So like if you try to fix something, it winds up messing up the chat, and so you can't really write anything, and you wind up having to reload the screen. It's a mess. So don't use it in a live chat when it wants you to fix something. But I would say you install it. It's free to install. It works great. And if you don't want to install the Grammarly app, you can use the free checking thing. You copy and paste your entire article in Grammarly, and they have a page for it, and it'll scan through the whole thing all at once, and you can use it that way. That's how I was using it at first. I did it for about 2 or 3 articles. I'm like, I'm just going to use the extension, and it's been on my computer ever since. I like Grammarly. I wish they would pay me. Especially since I got a lot of articles on Writer Sanctuary that get searched because of Grammarly. I even contacted them directly. I'm like, yo, can we like take a look at this again, maybe? And they never responded, so. Oh well, it is what it is. Oh yeah, I remember when they first denied me too. I'm like, this was back in 2014, I think it was. It just started Writer Sanctuary, so the content on it wasn't nearly what it is, as tight as it is now. And so I can see why they denied it. But after they denied me, I remember being so mad at Grammarly. I'm like, I'm never using your product, and I don't ever want to mess with you. And God, I held a grudge for 7 years, 6 years, 5 if I installed it last year. It happens. Now the fun part is trying to find an affiliate for a writer sanctuary that fits. Like, I keep getting emails about. See, the most recent one was they wanted me to post a post on my website that for, let's see, one of their company sells subscriptions and views and followers on social media and all this other stuff, and I am so anti buying social proof. I don't believe in buying views or buying subscribers or buying followers. I don't believe in any of that. And like, they want to pay me $45 just to post it on there. I'm like, no. So that's when it comes to Writer Sanctuary, I'm extremely anal. I won't let just anything on my site. I heard that Textbooker has a thing where you can't paste into their field even if it's your stuff. Yeah. I don't think I've ever, like in the editor, I don't think I've ever done that. But then again, they've made a lot of advancements over the years, and everything I've ever created has been unique. So I think I was only flagged once for plagiarism on I think it was what's it called? I was just talking about it. God damn. I need to sleep more. My mind is blank. Oh my god. Recap. God. Alright, so anyway, the only time I got flagged for plagiarism was on a recap. That was a long time ago. But everything I ever write is completely unique. And I have done the same article so many different ways from so many different clients. And that's the hardest part, is trying to come up with new ways to write the same thing. Yeah, recap. But yeah, if it's, I'm not sure what he means either. If that's a copy and paste. What if it's real-time scanning into the text editor on TextBroker, maybe? God, that'd be advanced as hell. That's kind of a cool idea. Built-in real-time plagiarism check. So yeah, that's, I say so yeah a lot. Something to check into it though. See, like when I first started, they didn't have all the search. Like right now, you can search orders. You can search by client ID, dates, certain stars of orders, direct orders, team orders. Like they didn't have all this crap when I first started. They've come a long way. I really think the like the 5-star advancement test used to be called proofreading test. And my statistics. Look, I'm current rating is a 4-star. I have 2. That's awesome. I have 2 articles out there that are waiting for TextBroker rating from 2018. Nice. I wonder if they're waiting for like 5 or something. I don't know. They usually do them in bulks of 5. So client rating. Oh yeah, that was back when I was making bank. If I'm remembering correctly, they said that you can't paste anything, and that if you did, it would be immediately rejected. Huh. I've never had that problem. I would write in WordPress and then paste it into TextBroker. Well, that's kind of rotten of them if you think about it, because there's a lot of people that use Word to write articles in for TextBroker and then paste it in. So if that's true, that's kind of a dirty. Oh, right on. I'd never noticed this before. I've done 611 open orders, 2,226 team orders, and 2,745 direct orders. Wow, that's kind of cool. 3 refused by client or TextBroker. two of them weren't even my fault. One of them should have been removed. It was their fault for screwing up my... I had a really good, nice direct order thing going on. Then they got a new manager that... the text broker manager that was governing over the account, he was on vacation. Then their replacement came in. They screwed up my contact information with that client, and then things just went south, and text broker wound up refusing the article I wrote, even though it's exactly how the client wanted it, which was already agreed upon. And so I should have fought that, but I didn't. I don't know why. Still. God, that makes me mad just thinking about it. There's a, yeah. Public profile. I think it may have been to avoid plagiarism. I may also be remembering from another writing mail though. God, no, now I'm almost wanting to accept or pick up an order and try to paste something in it just to see what happens. Then again, if you're right and they do reject it immediately, that would make me very unhappy because I worked hard to have my almost pristine rating. Anyway, now I'm trying to be more creative. I haven't got to work on 7, which is really a bummer. I want to work on it, publish it, get it on my bookshelf, stick it next to Mom's book. That'd be great. And I've been doing so much with my client right now that there's been days where I'm like half tempted to tell them to find a different manager and put me back as a writer because I miss writing. Oh, perhaps you mean copying and pasting from an already published article? In that case, yeah, that would definitely be plagiarism. Okay, so that actually makes sense because if they did that, if you like copy from an article and paste it and then Copyscape flags it as a plagiarism, then I could see that working really well. That's actually kind of cool when I think about it. Yeah, but it shouldn't be flagged just for pasting your stuff in though. That'd be dirty. Look at my dirt drawers. Fuck. But I think I remember them saying any copy pasting would get it flagged. God, now it's almost worth giving it a shot just to see. TB has an automatic copyscape. Yeah, I know that they have the automatic copyscape from the client's perspective because, well, I'm also a client, not just another. So I know that part of it's there, but I didn't know that it would do it in real time as you're writing it, which is kind of cool, I guess. My extended profile, 88% complete. No matter what I do, I can't get that up there. But yeah, I definitely remember them saying even if it's raw material. That's weird. That would just be sad. Well, I don't know. I'll try it because that's how I write. Is I use WordPress and then paste it in. So if they're gonna flag that, then I don't know. I'm a big text broker supporter, but once you start flagging me for stupid shit, then it changes. And I hold a grudge. Yes, they mean if you've already published that material elsewhere. Yeah, I can see that. Like, there's some systems out there, like, I think it's Medium or Vocal. So I don't think it's Hub Pages. But one of them will let you post stuff that you already have out there. That I don't like to do no matter what. I like everything to be absolutely unique. I have never copied and pasted an article on any blog. Everything I write is 100% unique. Well, as unique as I can make it. because no matter how hard you try, there's always going to be something out there that's similar, because there's just so much content on the internet right now. I mean, every half a second a new blog is built, so you gotta figure that someone's writing the same kind of stuff you are. You just gotta add your own personality to it. Unfortunately, sometimes you can get too similar. So, but yeah, I've never copied and pasted. If it's just that, then it's not nearly as bad. Yeah, exactly. If it's just scanning through the stuff that you've had submitted or stuff that's available online, then yeah, that'd be worth it. That'd be kind of a cool one. It would stop people from copying, pasting, and trying to pawn stuff off as their own. So we'll have to hope, because I don't know if I want to try it, because if it does get rejected immediately, that would give me a fourth, and I don't want a fourth one. I want to have as good as a... Oh, I remember, let's see, it was like 3,000 articles in. I got my first rejection, and it broke my heart. I was so upset. I was depressed for days. Now, every writer I know writes in WordPress, Word, or something similar, and then transfers their content into the text broker box. Yeah, I didn't know there was more people that use WordPress, but I do know there's a lot of people that use Word, LibreOffice, OpenOffice, and all those other word processing systems. I tried using Word at one point. Actually, it was OpenOffice when I started, so it was whatever OpenOffice's version of Word was. And so I tried that once or twice and didn't like it, and so I just started writing inside the text broker editor itself. I didn't start using WordPress until about a year or two after I started text broker, and then I started messing around with my WordPress editor and thought, you know, I can just install plugins to help me write this stuff. So I installed a thesaurus plugin, which was really good. It's outdated and obsolete now, but it was awesome because it would put a thesaurus inside WordPress. So on the right, I could put in whatever word I wanted and give me a list of different words I could use. And it was an awesome tool. And then that's when I started using Yoast. And after using Yoast, everything was just so much better. I had far fewer revision requests. It was great. And I think that was about 2014, I think, is when I started using it. It was like when Yoast was just a baby. But yeah, I tried using word processors. I didn't like it. I don't know why. Just I am more of a coder. So like with the headings and all that, like you'll see on all my blog posts and some videos where I'll actually type out the H3 header or H2, H3 headers. I'll type out bolds and tables and bullet lists. For me, it's just faster. I don't like having to click on a bunch of different things, getting bullet lists. I could just tear through it so fast. I've been programming in HTML since 1998. And so getting all these fancy buttons and stuff, it's just faster for me just to type out the code than it is to grab the mouse and click a button. And so I really never got into a lot of the word processors, and that's why I liked WordPress so much, is I can change it to text view, and in text view I can write out the code in full. So that's how I was able to, or that's what attracted me most to WordPress. That and being able to add more tools like Tiny MCE Advanced. It adds way more to the editing system. Yoast, the thesaurus. Back before everything came with built-in spell checkers, I used to add the Jetpack spell checker, but I think they got rid of that because, well, everything does it now. What else? I'm trying to think of the different tools I had added to it. And since you can make your WordPress website private and lock up the folder, you can hide the login screen to a different URL. It made it virtually secure in every way, and so there's really I would never publish anything I write. I would save maybe some of the more important ones just so that I have a reference for later, but for the most part just delete and move on. I know a lot of people would take their articles and copy and paste them into a Word doc and then save that on their desktop, and I guess that's kind of helpful so that you don't accidentally write the same thing over again. But to me, that just gives me, if I have something like that in front of me, then I'm more likely to copy it because I'm looking at it. But if it's coming out fresh, then it might be completely different. And so that's why I don't save anything I write for clients. There's been a few times where I wish I did. Now, if I write something and a client rejects it, it immediately gets posted on my website. That way they can't use it either. So there. At that point, as time-stamped, I can prove that I had it up before they did and they can't plagiarize it. I've done that quite a few times. It's the clients that keep asking for revision after revision after revision. And just sometimes you can sense when they're screwing you. And so at that point, I would just cancel the order, take my article, and post it on my website. Gotta be careful though. Sometimes it could be an innocent misunderstanding and you wind up losing a job. It happens. Well, we've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. That's awesome. I was half expecting this to be kind of a short one since I was out of ideas for a topic. So what do you think? Let me ask you. What do you think I should do a live stream on next time? Because it'll be 2 weeks from today. And I was thinking about doing some of the the practicallylivinggreen.com website. That's the affiliate one that I'm building. I have to introduce some of that live just so that we can go through and walk through the process of setting up a WordPress blog. Or maybe I can find, maybe we can, let's see, the Minddomo one was really good. When I showed everybody how to use Minddomo live, that was kind of fun. In fact, Minddomo liked it too. They tagged me on Twitter. Well, let's see, Asana would be another good one. How to use Asana for scheduling. I wish I had Asana when I first started Tax Broker. That'd have made things so much easier. It's a scheduling app where you can set up certain tasks throughout the day, and I find it incredibly useful now, but I didn't have it back then. So essentially I just made to-do lists in Outlook. That worked. What was another good one? I'm trying to think of some. Maybe we can go over how to use Yoast Pro, but then you have to buy that. I bought it for Radish Sanctuary and Colorado Plays. And Crossing Colorado, I think. We have done Asana. Oh, that's right. That was, nobody watched it. We did a live stream of Asana and it was like only a 15-20 minute video. There was a lot of things that I wish you could have done with it. I don't know, it just didn't feel right for some reason. Honestly, I think what you're doing is great. Conversations will naturally bleed into other topics, so don't worry about having a set format. Yeah. There's times where, like in the very beginning, there were times where I would do something like this, and I'd wind up repeating myself over and over and over, or I would do fillers like, I've done a bunch of them today, like and so, and then stuff like that. Oh, good night, Ron Kincaid. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope things look better for you in the future. And I'll be back on in 2 weeks, so if you want to hang out then. And you can always hit me up on social media, on Twitter and Facebook. I'm quite active on Twitter. It's been my go-to recently. I don't know why. It's more toxic than any other social platform, but I like it. Maybe because of the toxicity. I know I have a lot to learn, so I would appreciate anything. Or ramblings. Ramblings is another one. Yeah. Maybe how to choose topic for a blog, and what tools to use and how. Oh, you know what? I just did a blog post on michaelbrockbank.com. I think it was along those lines. Let me check real fast. It's my personal blog. And I just did one. Okay, 9 effective ways to come up with blogging ideas that I use often. That's at michaelbrockbank.com, and it should be on the front page. But we can do that live too. But anyway, what I was saying is that sometimes I like to have a format. That way, when it gets kind of low and quiet, no one's interacting, which was a big problem in the very beginning. I didn't have Ron, Shyman, and a few others would come in and chat sometimes, but when they're not there, I would sit there and talk to myself, and I would just go on these random rants. And there was one time that I was talking to somebody from the UK, and we were going over conspiracy theories about aliens and whatnot. My 13-year-old, joined the conversation. That was a load of fun. But he was high, so sometimes it's good to have a format in case things start falling apart. That way you have something to fall back on. At least keep the conversation interesting. But I kind of like doing the AMAs. I just, I don't know. I try to do the best I can, and sometimes I feel like I kind of ramble too much. Sam would agree with me. Sam constantly tells me how I'm rambling and tells me that I should be shutting up and turning off now. In fact, that's probably what she's thinking to herself right now. But you're not my mother. But anyway, Shyman, what tools to use and how? I bet I can probably come up with some cool walkthroughs. A live walkthrough, I think it would be kind of fun. I loved doing the one for Mindomo. I thought it was really cool. I was really disappointed in Asana, but I guess everybody else was as well. So maybe we'll do some more live walkthroughs, like with blogging, the tools that I use. My post on microbrockbane.com, I can go through every one of those. A lot of them were, let me check it real fast. I can tell you exactly what's in it. We've got answer the public, expanding on listicles, blog comments, video comments, which is a big one, using past articles, Google's keyword planner, glancing at the news, and LSI Graph, or lsigraph.com. And those are all 9 of those methods are things I use on a regular basis. No, actually, you're doing fine. Whatever. Sam is my best friend. She's over here quite often. In fact, she's done a live stream with me a couple times. So she knows me better than anybody. And she knows when to tell me to shut up. Oh, I can never do videos like this. You are so easy to listen to and don't have any awkward pauses. That's one of the things I try to avoid is awkward pauses. Because there's times where I'm like thinking and I'll have dead air. That's I think in terms of radio, like if I know it's different with videos, but you get dead air and it's the same, like, oh my god, you start freaking out because you don't want dead air. And so that's why I try to come up with a fallback of keeping the ball rolling. And sometimes I don't do that well of a job. So, but thank you very much for having faith in me and enjoying the content. It's the biggest reasons why I do this. I don't care if I ever get monetized by YouTube. I enjoy helping people. I enjoy helping you guys learn how to do what I do and get to where I'm at. And if I can help just one person through one video, that's all that matters to me. I get paid enough for my regular job that this is fun for me. I do the blogs, I do the videos, I do all the social media stuff because I enjoy it. It's my vacation from work. But since I don't have to depend on income from any of these things, I can do whatever I want as often as I would like. Well, I can't say that because lately my client has been driving me freaking bananas. Like before I even started the stream, I was getting messages on Slack that they want me to add a new image to this and fix that, and here's a list of crap we need on a blog post. And I'm like, oh my god, people, leave me alone. I love my client though. I love working with them. They're great people. I have an awesome team. And yeah. That's an awkward pause. Anyway, it's been an hour and 22. I'm hot as hell. I need to open the door and go see what my kids have done to my house. So Thank you all very much for watching, and I'm trying to figure out how I can close this out. God, hair's getting a little bit longer than I'd like. What do you think of my new light? That's kind of, I don't know if you've seen any of the videos before, but goddamn, that thing is bright. Okay, so if I hit, I can't remember, there's a certain pattern that I can do, because right now what I have is OBS feeding into YouTube. So if I turn off one before the other, then it cuts off like the last 30 seconds of the video. But if I time it right and turn off one and then the other, then it works perfect. Problem is I can't remember which one's which. So we're going to try an experiment. I'm going to stop streaming on, I can't remember if it was OBS or YouTube. Alright, here we go. We're going to try it this time with OBS. I'm going to write it down so I remember, because I probably forget. Alright, thank you for watching, and I will be back on Wednesday with an uploaded video, and we'll do the Friday writer vlog like I normally do. And then 2 weeks from today, I'll do another live stream. And I was debating on doing these weekly, but it really just depends on how busy I am. Like today, I didn't know if I was going to get to it because it was non-stop work up until last minute. So some days it's easier than others. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to hit the stop button on the OBS and see what happens. So